All right. Ow, that hurt. As you can see here, we're in the dead of winter here in Ohio. It is sub-zero temperatures, it's freezing cold, but we've been having a ton of fun the past couple of weeks with the RC cars and the snow specifically. We had the UDR out here the other day, having a blast during all the snowfall. It's been a ton of fun. Good news for you guys is we have another video coming for you today. It's actually a video from last summer that we shot last summer. I know that I said that I would release it if we hit 1,500 likes on the last video, and I also realized that that was probably an unrealistic goal, and I also realized that I feel like I owe you guys for all of your patience over the last couple years as Drive On has been on a hiatus. So thank you for your patience, and this is kind of like a little reward for you guys for all that patience, as well as the warm welcome back. I loved all the comments on the last video. Thank you for the support and the love. I could definitely feel it, and it's good to be back, and I intend on bringing you many videos in the future. Speaking of which, right now, Drive On is definitely not my full-time job right now, and so time is limited, so I don't know how many videos I'm gonna be doing or what kind of frequency. Right now I'm kind of scoping like a video per month, and so I'm gonna do my best for you guys. The only thing I ask in return is obviously give me a subscribe, but also check out our other social platforms. We're on Instagram and we're also on TikTok. I'll link them down below, but in between these videos, because the videos are a little bit more burdensome, I'd like to keep the discussion and keep the chat going with you guys, and TikTok and Instagram is a great way to do that. So if you're on those platforms, check out Drive On. We're gonna be posting and having content on there as well. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, we are back, and that means one thing. It is the weekend again, and this time we have a very special episode for you. Specifically this guy. This is the little axial SCX24. And for those of you guys that have been around Drive On for a while, you know that tiny little trucks, specifically like 24th scale and 1/18 scale, has a very special place in Drive On's heart. It was one of the very first episodes that we did, and we had a ton of fun with the team associated 1/24th scale little RC10B buggy, and then the Fox little racing truck that they had. Now this one specifically is coming in at around 110 bucks depending on where you live, but one thing I will say is that the demand is very high for these, so it's actually pretty difficult to find them in stock. This is the 1967 Chevy C10. This one is the black on black edition. If there's black on black, you know I have to get it. But there's also a green version. The green version does not have the light bar. It's a little bit more classic looking. This one looks like a little bit more like modern, modified looking, like lifted truck type of deal, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I think it looks really nice. And to top it all off, they also added some scale detail like the lights in front. Now for those of you guys that aren't familiar with crawlers are basically designed to look and also run like real trucks. So they aren't made to go fast. So if you're looking for something with speed, this is not the truck for you. This is made to tackle terrain that is very large compared to itself and do it in a manner that makes it look as realistic as possible. And for what they've done here for 110 bucks at 1/24 scale, I think it's a pretty good little package, but it's not for everybody, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, first things first, let's get into the overall features and specs of this thing. Now, this is, like I said earlier, the 1967 Chevy C10, but it also comes in a Jeep variation as well as what they call a deadbolt variation. So there's a couple different options depending on your taste of which one you like, and they're all coming in around that same price point, give or take. In the box, you're going to be getting the truck itself. You're also getting a very basic 2.4 gigahertz radio system. It comes with everything installed, the servo. There's no building necessary, so it comes with the AE6 ESC receiver all-in-one combo, and it also has the AS1 servo pre-installed. It comes with a battery as well as a little USB charger, and then it also has a brushed electric motor, a little 88 turn 030 brushed electric motor that's pre-installed. In terms of things that you're going to need to complete this thing, there's nothing. Right out of the box, you can get this thing out, charge up the battery, and you can start running it and having a good time. In terms of features, it has four-wheel drive, obviously. That's pretty much standard with all RC crawlers. It also has four-wheel lock differentials, so it really can go over basically anything without getting stuck. Now, it has two bright LED front headlights, which is pretty cool. It also has worm drive gears for the front and rear axles, which basically just means it's going to give you a little bit more ground clearance in the center of the truck, which is pretty nice. It's not like you're going to be doing any kind of crazy scale competitions with these little guys. This is more of just a fun truck that you can drive indoors or outdoors. Now, in terms terms of components, this thing is mostly plastic. And in fact, it actually has a 3-link front and 4-link rear suspension for optimal handling, but all of the components of that are plastic, which I don't think is a huge deal for something like this. Again, this is a $110 RC car, hobby grade. And so you're not gonna be getting all metal parts. That being said, all of the plastic parts on here means that this is a very lightweight truck, specifically compared to some of the other smaller crawlers that we've had in the past, like the RC 4-wheel drive 1/18 scale Galande Defender that we did. Now, in terms of battery life on all crawlers is typically pretty good, and this is no different. This comes with a little 350 milliamp 2-cell battery. To be honest with you, I have yet to kill the battery. I looked it up online. It looks like people are getting about an hour and a half of run time, which is pretty awesome. This is subjective, but in my opinion, this is a cool looking truck. This is a good looking little tiny truck. I like RC cars for the fact that, one, they are a fun recreational thing to do. You can drive them around, but also if you get more of the scale oriented RC cars, they just look fantastic. And when you get them this small, it becomes like a nice little display piece. And so this is something that you could use as an RC car and have some fun with it in your free time. But when you're not using it, you can put it on display. I've put this on my desk right next to my 1/18 scale Porsche 911 from the 90s. And it's just kind of cool while I'm working during the day or doing whatever at my desk. You can look down and you have some really nice looking scale little cars. And then if you have somebody over who's checking out your desk, you can actually turn this one on and drive it around and scale over some obstacles on your desk, which is pretty fun. In my opinion, that's super awesome. Even if I don't end up running this thing a ton, it's a nice model to have around and to have it on display. Fully articulating suspension, everything. It's like a real truck, just super tiny. Would I recommend this or not? I think for the money, you guys have heard me in the past, this thing has a very high fun per dollar ratio. And what I mean by that is that you can have a lot of fun with this thing without breaking the bank. Like I said earlier, it's $110, which in terms of hobby grade RC cars, that's a pretty reasonable price. If you're new to the hobby, maybe you're thinking about, you've been eyeing RC cars your whole life and you're thinking maybe now is the time to try one. If this is your first car, I don't know if I'd recommend it. And one of the reasons I say that is because from a normal person's perspective who's not a hobbyist, the first impression and the first experience of this thing could be a little bit underwhelming. It's slow. Crawlers are just slow. This thing is slower than a walking pace. It is not made to go fast at all. So if you were looking to get your first RC car as a primary rig, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this because I feel like it's gonna leave you wanting more. Now, if you've experienced crawling, you've experienced maybe some other RC car and you're looking for something fun, you know, maybe something to run inside when it's raining out, or just an additional RC experience on top of your primary car, then definitely for $110, like I said earlier, in terms of hobby grade RC cars, it's a pretty good price. And there's loads of different upgrades and stuff that you can do with this. It just depends on what you're looking for. So leave us a comment down below. Are you guys running micro RC cars? 1/24th, 1/18th, which ones are you running? And as always, thank you guys for watching. It's because of you that we're here and able to do these videos. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. And thank you so much. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one.